Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're picking up right where we left off, tackling what feels like maybe the biggest emotional cliffhanger in Oliver's recent work.
Yeah, if you were with us last time, we ended our discussion right at the close of his album, A Night on the Earth, specifically track 12, For Another Day.
And that track, wow, it was intense. A really heavy rock and blues ballad.
Devastating, really. It hammered home this idea of the cyclical nature of trauma. It felt like a kind of regression almost after some of the clarity he'd seemed to find earlier on the album.
We talked about how high the emotional stakes were there. I mean, this wasn't just someone dealing with bad memories. It was an active fight happening every night.
He literally called his own sleep a scary place.
Right, where the same old stories, these inner ghosts, were constantly pushing him, trying to make him fall and burn away.
Yeah.
It sounded like pure psychological warfare.
And that's the critical piece, isn't it? That constant battle, that vigilance, it meant he was completely stuck in survival mode. There was just no headspace for big, romantic, long-term promises.
Which is what made the solution in For Another Day so striking.
Yeah.
It was almost anti-romantic.
Definitely. It was this relationship built on, like, radical honesty and minimal demands. The partner offered this very gentle grace.
Yeah, the lyrics say it slips in my life.
Yeah.
Very subtle, undemanding. She don't ask for nothing much.
Exactly. It wasn't about grand passion or planning some big future. It was an exercise in emotional economy, you could say.
The goal was simple. Just survive. Get through the day.
For another day. That was the mantra. And we sort of concluded it wasn't defeatist necessarily. It was this hard-won, pragmatic realism.
Accepting that the scars, the trauma, couldn't just be wiped clean. They had to be managed rigorously, one day at a time.
Very fragile stability, high effort, and profoundly temporary. Just focused on the immediate 24 hours.
So the story of A Night on the Earth, the album, it just stops right there on that knife edge.
Yeah.
Perpetual day-to-day survival.
But then comes the pivot, the really jarring turn.
Yeah, almost right after the album dropped, Oliver releases this standalone single, the one we're focusing on today, Till the End of Time.
And the contrast is just, it's huge. Emotionally, it's monumental.
We go from a character whose idea of commitment is just get me through tonight.
To someone suddenly talking about standing together across all the seasons, proposing marriage, promising love till the end of time, absolute finality.
So that's our job today, isn't it? We need to find that bridge. How did Oliver, or his narrator, cross that gap?
What happens psychologically? How do you get from that extreme fragility of For Another Day to the unwavering confidence of Till the End of Time?
We need to look for the clues, the evidence in the lyrics, in the music itself, that justifies this massive leap of faith.
Yeah, how did that tactical 24-hour survival transform into, like, strategic, lifelong permanence? Because this single, it isn't just another love song. It feels like the real conclusion to the whole psychological journey of the album.
Okay, so to really get a handle on just how big this shift is, we kind of have to start with where the song itself came from, its origin story.
Right, because the timeline is fascinating. It connects Oliver, the artist, and the fictional narrative of the album.
Apparently this song exists in two different times almost.
Yeah, Oliver mentioned that the first version was super short, like a minute long, just the first verse. And he wrote that way, way back in 1995.
1995. Okay, so that's decades before the events, the trauma explored in A Night on the Earth.
Exactly. So in its original form, it was this pure, maybe even youthful aspiration, an idealized dream of ultimate, uncomplicated love.
A potential future, maybe, before all the darkness set in, untainted by that night of the soul.
That's a really important distinction, I think, because the narrator's life then took all those turbulent turns we hear about on the album.
And Oliver only went back to that little demo very recently.
Yeah, in 2025, he revisited it and decided to finish the lyrics, writing the other 3 stanzas.
So that 30-year gap,
Yeah.
what does that tell us? It means the finished song we have now isn't just a standard love song.
No, it's where that youthful dream from 95 meets this really hard-won, fully earned, desired ending from 2025.
So the ability to actually finish the song, to commit to that idea of permanence, it could only happen after the character went through everything on the album, survived it.
That's how it feels. It's maturity finally catching up with that early idealism. And you hear that maturity immediately in the sound.
Ah, the genre shift.
Right.
The music is completely different from the album.
Totally. Oliver deliberately released it as a standalone single. He said it just didn't fit the flow of the album.
Which was all heavy guitars, blues, rock, very raw.
High gain amps, strained vocals, driving rhythms, yeah. But till the end of time, he specifically called it a crooner Sinatra Martin kind of song.
Which isn't just a bit softer, it's a whole different world musically.
And that choice of genre, the crooner style, might be the birth clue about the narrator's internal shift, if you really listen.
What does it tell us?
Well, think about the instrumentation. We go from those loud, distorted guitars and crashing cymbals
Yeah?
to smooth drums, maybe brush snares, lush strings, that classic warm jazz piano sound. Crooner songs often have this really stable harmonic language, right? Classic chord progressions that feel timeless, settled.
Okay, I see what you mean. The rock and blues sound, it inherently had conflict baked into it. Tension, struggle, like that effort in You're My Home.
Right. That abrasive guitar sound symbolized a kind of stability that was forced,
Yeah.
heavy, defensive, like he was building walls.
But the crooner style, it
Yeah.
feels relaxed, confident.
Exactly. Even the vocal approach changes. Oliver's voice isn't pushed or strained here. It's smooth, melodic, very controlled. It implies a sense of maybe internal ease.
So the music isn't fighting for the feeling, it is the feeling.
Yes. It signals that the desperate struggle, that constant need to just survive the night, has actually quieted down.
So maybe that emotional economy, the partner's gentle grace from For Another Day,
Yeah.
maybe that paid off. It gave him the confidence to be softer.
That's a great way to put it. The music itself becomes this psychological marker. He's reached a level of emotional security where that youthful promise from 30 years ago can finally be articulated fully, confidently.
He's not defining love by fighting demons anymore.
No, he's defining it by his ability to comfortably commit to a shared, stable future.
Okay, so the music sets the stage for this shift. Then the lyrics.
Yeah.
They must provide the roadmap, right?
Absolutely. And the structure is deliberate. It lays out this promise of commitment, but not just over one day. It moves chronologically through all 4 seasons.
Summer, autumn, winter, spring.
Right. And using the seasons suggests a kind of stability that can withstand natural cycles, predictable change, unlike the unpredictable chaos of his internal trauma loop.
So he's testing his newfound stability against the calendar year, seeing if the commitment holds up through the ups and downs, the natural cooling and warming.
Exactly. Let's unpack each season, see how it works as a stage in making this commitment real.
Okay, first up, stanza 1, Summer Night.
And it starts right where that 1995 dream began. In my wildest dreams, in this summer night, summer is peak aspiration. It's warmth, intensity, immediate desire.
The imagery feels very immediate, too. Hold my heart so tight, kiss you dear, hold you in my arms.
Take away your fears, pure yearning, but notice it's also about protection. He still sees himself as the active protector, shielding her from fears.
And then the big declaration, right away. Look you in your eyes, telling you you're mine.
That's confident, almost possessive, but in that romantic, ideal kind of way.
It sets the ultimate goal immediately. And the initial promise is absolute. And how I'll love you till the end of time sets the bar really high.
But doesn't that sound almost too perfect? Especially knowing this character's history, the doubt, the self-sabotage we heard on the album. Can we trust this?
Well, that's the tension, isn't it? This first stanza is the idealized starting point, is that initial burst of certainty.
But it can't stay there. No, because he has lived through the night on the earth. So that promise immediately bumps up against his reality, his lived experience of doubt. The structure almost demands that the promise gets tested right away.
Which brings us to stanza 2. Autumn?
Yeah, this shift is quick and sobering. When the autumn comes through the fallen leaves. Autumn. Season of decay. Things cooling down. And the environment changes. The wind starts whispering.
Whispering what?
Making me so lost, bringing up my fears. It's the explicit return of the past. The ghosts are back.
So the seasonal change itself acts like a trigger.
Seems like it. The wind, maybe representing those external thoughts or just the passage of time, it dredges up the same old stories from For Another Day. The progress he made is being challenged.
Not by something new, but by the old familiar cyclical doubt.
Right. And it proves the trauma isn't just gone, is it? It's still there, needing containment. That certainty of summer fades.
And he needs proof again. Searching everywhere to see if you're mine. He needs to check. Is she real? Is she still there? Has his internal storm scared her off?
That need for external confirmation leads to the big shift in the stanza's last line. This is maybe the most crucial emotional moment in the song.
How so?
Well, stanza 1 declared how he would love her. Stanza 2 flips it. It introduces the question mark, admits the fragility, and will I love you till the end of time.
From how to will. That's huge.
It's everything. It's the voice of the man from for another day,
Right.
suddenly surfacing. He's questioning his own capacity, his own endurance.
He's admitting the big promise is only possible if he doesn't sabotage himself again.
Exactly. It's the necessary, honest doubt that makes the promise real, makes it an adult commitment, not just youthful fantasy. It forces the relationship beyond just his willpower. It has to become reciprocal.
He's basically running a reality check. He knows his own patterns, and he's forcing this new promise to face that history head on.
Okay, so after confronting that doubt in autumn, the journey moves into the hardest test. Winter.
Now the winter's here, snow is falling down.
Yeah.
Coldness, stillness, hardship. This is where relationships can really be tested, maybe freeze over.
But look at how he responds. He's passive, maybe feeling the cold, but he's not defeated. He sees her steps coming from behind.
Coming from behind. That sounds familiar.
It is. It echoes how he received support at the end of the album. This partner, she's still showing that consistent low-key grace from For Another Day. She's still coming to him, providing that continuity.
He's receiving warmth, not desperately trying to generate it himself.
Yes. And his ability to just receive that support instead of trying to force stability like before, that shows a massive internal shift.
And it lets him ask for a totally different kind of commitment now. He asks, will you catch my heart? Will you bind my soul?
Let's pause on bind. That word choice is deliberate. It connects directly back to track 10, You're My Home.
Right. In that song, he wanted chains on my soul. It sounded punitive, like self-punishment to stop himself from running. Restrictive.
Chains restrict, they punish. But here, in winter, the binding is requested. It's voluntary. It's reciprocal.
He's asking her to bind his soul, not forcing himself into chains.
It's a request for security, not self-imprisonment. It implies vulnerability, like his soul is open now, ready for a shared anchor. He's asking her to be the stability he failed to be for himself.
That feels like real healing. The commitment isn't just about his willpower fighting his demons anymore.
It's becoming a shared thing, a protective bond, not chains.
And notice the focus is still on her actions. Could you then be mine, and would you love me till the end of time? It's her reliability, her grace, that makes the whole thing possible.
It proves this final commitment isn't just him making a promise into the void. It's a mutual construction. He's finally trusting the union itself, not just his own fragile strength.
Okay, so they endure winter together, which leads naturally to spring. Resolution.
Exactly. Stanza 4. As the days grow long and the spring is here, rebirth, new growth, stability, the cycle has been weathered, the test passed.
And his whole demeanor changes, doesn't it? He's not questioning or searching anymore.
No, he's moved to active confidence. Now he's the one singing his song, humming in her ear. It's this outward, secure expression of love. No defense needed, no internal struggle visible.
The focus also shifts internally, it seems.
Yes, from checking externally in autumn and asking for external action in winter, now it's about mutual internal confirmation. He asks, will you feel the same? Feel me in your heart, knowing that I'm there.
Trust. It's about trust now. Confirmed from the inside by both of them, not desperate checking.
And with that trust established, tested across the seasons, the narrative tension finally resolves. The uncertainty dissolves into this tested, reciprocal assurance.
Which leads directly to the ultimate question.
The fulfillment of the whole journey. Will you marry me and will you be mine?
Wow. So the leap from just surviving another day to promising the end of time. And it's completed right there.
And it's a confidence that feels earned, doesn't it? It's not just naive idealism. It's grounded in the reality of having faced the doubt, endured the cold, and found the partner's grace to be reliable.
The seasons proved her consistency, and they proved his ability to actually receive and trust that consistency.
So, if we pull back and look at the whole arc, it's a really profound psychological journey. That fragility we heard in For Another Day, needing just 24 hours. It wasn't a failure.
No, it seems like it was a necessary first step, a prerequisite.
Absolutely. You needed that tactical victory, that daily survival to build the foundation. You needed that before you could genuinely believe in the big strategic promise of till the end of time.
Real lasting permanence required embracing realism first.
He had to accept his past, confront it daily before he could credibly promise a secure future.
It really highlights the difference between, unsustainable effort and stable acceptance, doesn't it?
Totally. Think back to the sound of the album, especially You're My Home. That commitment felt forced, high effort, chains, defenses, fighting, stability powered by adrenaline.
Whereas Till the End of Time, both in his sound, that crooner style, and in the lyrics moving through the seasons, it feels different.
It feels like mature, grace-driven confidence. Stability isn't something he has to frantically wrestle into existence anymore. It's something he seeks voluntarily, maintains reciprocally. The music is easy, the lyrics accept doubt without collapsing.
And this connects to Oliver's bigger themes, right?
Yeah.
He said the album explored common feelings shared across the globe: betrayal, anger, struggle, absolution.
Yeah, so if the album mapped out that universal path through the pain, the lonely night on the earth,
Then this single offers the universal hopeful conclusion.
I think so. It suggests that real healing, real lasting love, it requires two things. First, enduring the natural emotional cycles of seasons. And second, accepting support, that reliable grace to move beyond just protecting yourself into actually building something together.
You can only commit to forever once you've mastered committing to today.
And it's interesting that parallel, the partner's consistent grace, acts almost like the steady rhythm of the crooner song itself.
Always there, keeping time.
Providing the foundation, yeah. Allowing him to finally sing his own resolved melody over it.
It's quite a redemption arc. The guy who couldn't trust himself through the night.
Can now trust himself to build a life across decades because he trusts her constancy.
So the message is, maybe to get to the end of time, you first have to truly accept and survive the reality of just needing another day.
Which brings us back to that fascinating detail about the timeline.
Right, the 1995 demo versus the 2025 completion. The minute-long dream and the fully realized commitment.
That 30-year gap between the initial idea and the finished song. It makes you wonder about aspiration versus lived reality.
Could it mean that the dream of the end of time, that initial romantic spark, could only be fully realized, lyrically completed after the character actually lived through the night on the earth?
Was lasting love actually impossible until he'd faced that deep fragility head-on?
Is real lasting commitment only possible after you acknowledge and survive the need for just another day?
Yeah.
Maybe promising forever isn't about pretending the past didn't happen.
Maybe it's about integrating the knowledge that you did survive it, with support, with grace.
It suggests the biggest commitment isn't promising you'll never change or struggle again.
But promising to weather those inevitable seasons of change together, relying on the stability you've already built, day by day.
That's a powerful thought to leave things on. Thanks for digging into this with me today.
My pleasure. Until next time, keep thinking about how we build those grand futures, maybe one fragile, well-supported day at a time.